Who are you? Siapa kau?
Comment vas-tu?
Who
are you?
Sino ka?
Who are you?
Comment vas-tu?
Identity is a complicated thing. Definitions change from person to person, shaped by a multitude of factors, some of which don't make sense. People, hobbies, personality traits, flaws, the side of the road people drive on, preferences for chopsticks over forks, rice over pasta, where you live, what languages you speak. If I were to ask you to introduce yourself, what would you say?
Wait, what do I say again?
Hi, my name is Alexa. I'm Ishna.
I'm Arshela. Kieran. Kim. I'm 2019.
20 and I'm from KL.
Despite this discrepancy, we can communicate these differences across the boundaries of languages and accents. The way I speak, similar to many Malaysians, changes depending on the context, with languages and accents adapting to the environment we find ourselves in. This little phenomenon is known as Manglish, a language adopted by Malaysians by code switching and code mixing between the four main languages of Malaysia: Malay, English, Chinese, and Tamil. While language has always been a central part of my identity, I've never exactly questioned it until coming to America.
Let me tell you a story. At the start of a school tour, a prospective parent came up to me and asked me a question about the way I speak. It went something along the lines of this. He said, "You're from Malaysia, right? And where's your accent?" "It's right there." And after a brief pause, he said, "Are you sure?" That got me questioning. Is there an expectations on how we Malaysians should sound like? Is our language and accents embedded within our identity? Hi, my name is Gareth. The role that language has played in identity formation has intrigued me for years. Our proficiency speaks volumes in communicating cultures, yet only so much can be understood through the words we speak. Cheesy? Probably. But I'm on a quest to find out the extent to which Manglish plays a role in the Malaysian identity. This is Rojak. The word Rojak is Malay for mixed. I immediately associate it with this local salad dish made with mixed fruits and vegetables, served in a sweet and sour sauce, peanuts, and prawn paste. Now, the definition I want to focus on is Bahasa Rojak, or mixed language. Depending on what the root language is, this term for this Creole type language can also be referred to as Manglish. But what even is Manglish? To investigate, I started by reaching out to people within my circle. I thought it made sense to ask the questions to Malaysians currently living abroad, like here, in the US. Let's start with Doro and Yukin.
Is it on?
Keep
Are
doing
we
it.
rolling?
We are the Malaysian.
Wait, is this supposed to be kanti and funny and like, what's the aim of
It is
this
by default.
documentary?
Hi, I'm Malaysia. I grew up in Kajang.
Hi, I'm Malaysia. Singapore, I'm Senatorian.
I'm Doro. I grew up in Kajang, but now I live in KL.
I'm Yukin, 21, grew up in Malaysia all my life, in Petaling Jaya with my lovely family, and now I'm here in the US.
The three of us are the Malaysians of the University of Richmond. That's right, the three of us in a sea of 4,000 people. Despite only having three people, the three of us share a lot of memories, from sleepovers to trips to Puerto Rico. It's been fun. Here's Chen Fang.
Hi, I'm Yap, or Chen Fang. I'm from Penang. I'm born and raised in Malaysia. I believe in Chinese.
We did the same high school program together, where the two of us, alongside two others, were set to finish high school abroad. This program was known as the United World Colleges program. She went to Armenia, and I went to India. Going a little further away from our bubble, I also talked to Tongshen, Ziqing, and Kenny.
My name is Kenny.
Hi, my name is Dongcheng.
My name is Ziqing.
I've been busy working for the past few months, since I have relocated to another state.
I went to University of Western Michigan.
I went to a small university called University of Central Missouri. So it's like the middle of nowhere.
Went to University of Northern Iowa, also middle of nowhere.
I did a transfer program from MCKL. That's how all three of us knew each other.
I've been in the country for 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
I'm originally from Kuantan, Pahang.
I'm from Ampang.
These are three recent graduates who moved to the US for college, now finding a living halfway across the world. They made a podcast, the 3CM podcast, to share stories of their experiences living abroad and whatnot. They even made a whole episode exploring this very topic that I was talking about. For each interview I conducted, I asked the following three questions. What do you think Manglish was? How does it play a role in identity? And what's your favorite Manglish phrase? How would you define Manglish?
Malaysian English.
Manglish is basically a mix of languages and dialects, but it's spoken by people of Malaysia. It's basically English with a strong Chinese, Hokkien, Malay, Tamil.
Mandarin English, right? Basically, it's English, but it's directly translated from Chinese.
Mostly we does translate from Mandarin.
More like Malaysian English. In Malaysia, we speak so many languages. Also,
Yeah.
you use Malay.
Yeah,
So,
we Rojak all the languages, right?
yeah.
Malay English, Mandarin English. A commonly accepted definition of Manglish is a pidgin language or trade language that was formed by code switching or code mixing between the multiple languages of Malaysia. It is mainly based in Malaysian English and has multiple roots to three main ethnicities of Malaysia, mainly the Malay, the Chinese, and the Indian. Let's break down a popular sentence that explains this phenomenon. Okay, class, as you can see, here I have the sentence, "Wei, matcha, you want to makan here, tapa?" So, very simply, "wei" is actually Cantonese, or actually also Malaysian colloquial also can count because it's used to grab attention. Like you see someone, you say, "Wei, hello," same thing. Then you have matcha. Matcha is Tamil for brother-in-law, but like most people also just say bro lah, kan? Then you want to is English, but the syntax is following Chinese. Then makan is actually Malay for eat. Then after that you have here or, and that one makes sense like English kan. Then after that you have tapao. And tapao is Cantonese for takeaway. Nah, easy right? Okay, bye. Given that we have various proficiencies in each of the languages that we speak, our understanding of Manglish can vary from individual to individual. That led me to my second question. What is your favorite Manglish phrase?
Pukimak!
That's a good question.
Abu Den.
Chibai.
I have a few. Walao.
Walao eh.
Walao eh.
Kanina.
Oh, Jintai.
My favorite is La, but it's so hard to explain. Look it up online.
Short.
I call my friends Bodo a lot.
Hello, Jake! Oh, yes, that's good. Hello, Jake!
Who says that?
I see it at the Pasar Malam.
Mangkok.
I feel like part of the beauty of it is we're having so much hard. It's so hard to just find one because it's so context dependent. Look up Malaysia or specifically Malaysian accent on social media. Awe. There's no doubt that there's a humorous aspect to Manglish. You've likely seen videos of Uncle Roger, who recently took over Malaysian malls with his nasi goreng stall. Yet, while it's funny, it's also so much more than that. It's how we connect with one another, especially in places foreign to us. It is a marker of identity.
It's home away from home.
That's how we identify ourselves. That's what makes us unique.
I feel that Manglish, reflecting on it now, is really an appreciation of not only my culture, but the culture of us as Malaysians, that surpasses or takes precedence over our race.
I think it does bring people together to a certain extent.
With us, it's like our bonding kiki, you know? Like, it makes us closer to each other. With other people that I don't know, it helps signal that they're Malaysian. The moment I hear the Malaysian accent, I was like, ooh, I can talk to them.
The things that we add on from the other languages, like the las, the days. You listen to this and you know that like someone's from Malaysia or Singapore.
If I hear a Malaysian accent, I would immediately go up to them and be like, "Are you Malaysian or Singaporean?" Right? And that's also how I met a couple of my friends here in Chicago too.
Now, studies have shown that language plays a crucial role in shaping identity. There's a clear correlation between fluency and one's connections to their ethnic roots. Because Manglish is a fusion of languages, its relationship to identity isn't linear. It's complex. Recognizing this, I know this film cannot simply be about my personal experiences or the experiences of those around me. I've lived abroad for the past 6 years, only using Manglish when talking to my Malaysian friends or calling friends or family at home. To see if Manglish truly plays a role in the Malaysian identity, I know what I must do. Time to book a flight. Now, if you couldn't already tell, I've been back for some time now. In fact, it is the tail end of the winter break. See, in 1 month, I visited family from both sides, went back to my mom's hometown, and saw the New Year fireworks, played mini golf, ate a lot of food, met up with some friends, some of which I haven't actually seen in years. I made bread, because why not? I celebrated 团圆节, Christmas, and even prepared for Chinese New Year. In fact, the last time I was able to celebrate Lunar New Year with my family was around 5 years ago. That got me thinking about this project overall and how people in Malaysia actually view Manglish.
Recognizing this, I knew the first person I had to talk to when I was in Malaysia was Adriana.
Hi there, I'm Adriana Norden Manan, or Adriana for short. I'm from the chaotically beautiful city of Kuala Lumpur.
She is, I can say this now, an award-winning playwright alongside 7 other job positions, but I'll just let her explain it herself.
And let's see if I remember them. Writer, translator, playwright, researcher, curator, dramaturg, educator, and entrepreneur. Manglish is Malaysian English, which I know doesn't really answer much because we are a complex land and a complex people. I really think the la is a key characteristic. And the thing about the la is there's an art to it, because you can't just plug in a la like every other line and think you've got it. No, it's just it's really something you feel and you acquire over time. It's about cutting short the process of getting comfortable with someone when you meet people for the first time in different settings. Speaking Manglish feels comfortable. Also, and this is funny, I don't really speak about this because it also feels like, I don't know, a bit cheesy. People don't often think I'm local when they first see me because of the way I look. When I can command Manglish and I can show, and I'm Malay also, that I'm like fluent at it, and I can code switch, and that I'm like one of them, it breaks down those barriers, which is very important in all the work that I do.
See, what I appreciate most about Adriana, apart from all her accomplishments and all that she's done, is her ability to bring communities together. There's just something about her warm and welcoming atmosphere that's just so inviting. And she keeps it real, and she's authentic to her true self. Now, on the topic of warm, inviting people, let's talk about one of my best friends, Arezu.
Hi, my name is Arezu Karingzadeh. I'm currently 22 years old. I am a recent graduate of Thai University. I am excited to be here today.
She's arguably one of my best friends, one of the few people I've kept in touch with since childhood. She's been in me and my sister's lives for as long as we could have imagined. She's essentially a part of the family. Have you picked up Chinese, man? Any bit of Chinese?
Well, I need
Now, Arezu may be Iranian, but she's lived in Malaysia for most of her life.
Somewhere around the 90s, my dad, my mom, and my stepbrothers moved here for work. Then they stayed here. Then I just happened to be born here, 2002. And I've just been living here ever since then.
And not only that, she also studied English and drama in college in Malaysia, which makes her the perfect interview subject.
I would say Manglish is a sort of dialect, a mix of Malaysian, like the Malay language, and also English, which means that while you speak predominantly in English, you have some sort of slang, some sort of like even terms of Malay that comes into the language. It's a way that kind of Malaysians have taken a language that was once a sign of like colonialism and have made it their own. They've made it as a way to communicate, one that like kind of combines all the people.
One thing that I should mention is that I recorded this at one of our last hangouts before she left Malaysia. Unfortunately, as her student visa expires, she's going to have to leave the country. Despite this, she hopes to continue her journey abroad.
And now I will be doing a master's somewhere, hopefully in Canada.
Okay.
Yay!
What constitutes the Malaysian identity in your eyes?
See, here's the thing, this is the question, because this is something I've been struggling with a lot the last few years.
Mhm.
Because when I was a kid, I always felt that like, of course I'm Malaysian to some degree. I've grown up here, ha ha ha. But I've also, these last few years, I've been like meeting a lot of people, different backgrounds, different contexts in me. And I'm realizing that in Malaysia particularly, there's a lot of like distinction between local and foreigner. One aspect that's very important to the Malaysian identity is language. I think you're looked down upon if you're a Malaysian or if you're a foreigner and you're here but you don't know the language. Even if you've lived your whole life here, even if you know the language to T, which I don't, so that's a point against me, fair enough. As a foreigner, it's hard to truly be accepted in the Malaysian culture as like a Malaysian. There's always going to be something that's less than, well, not less than, but something that makes you not Malaysian.
See, this isn't new. Deep down, there's so much more to identity. See, I never really thought about it until I experienced it myself. I think this one will actually be the other one. You know, I thought it would get easier the more I do it. But it gets harder and harder whenever I try to leave home. Going through this made me reflect a lot about what Arisu said. For most of our lives, she's been in Malaysia, but even if she lives with us, speaks the languages, and feels connected to us, she doesn't feel like the country reciprocates that energy. And even though she tied her identity to this nation, she feels that the people will never see that. As Arisu moves away from Malaysia, I can't help but wonder where I stand in all of this. See, there's this sense of fear and anxiousness that always rests in my heart whenever I think about my last week in Malaysia. I've made an article about it, I've made a video about it, but nothing really seems to encapsulate this feeling. Perhaps this is why I decided to make this video altogether. Perhaps this is my way of reclaiming my Malaysian identity as someone who hasn't been home for a very long time. At the start of this project, I had a very optimistic view about this investigation. I mean, Manglish means so much to me. It has shaped my perception of my Malaysian identity. It's what makes me unique. But every time I feel like I look into it and every time I leave home, I feel like I'm losing it. And the truth is I'll never be whole again. No matter how much love I'm showered with, no matter how much food I'm stuffed with, no matter how many lectures I endure at home, no matter how much I'm surrounded by the people that love me, there'll always be a part of me missing whenever I'm away. No matter where I go. And I guess that's the hardest part, isn't it? When you feel like you don't fit in anywhere. When you finally carve out a path for yourself, you realize how lonely it is. Is this it? Is my identity what I have to sacrifice to see a better future? That can't be right, can it?
As I reflect on this, a new feeling emerges. Nostalgia, a sense of sentimental longing. But there's something else to it. It's love and contentment and so much more. Watching those clips of my time at home made me reflect on those moments that feel so wholesome. See, Manglish still plays a role in the Malaysian identity, but it's more than just language. It's the way we communicate, how we reach across cultural barriers, how we create familiarity in unfamiliar places. It's how we express humor, warmth, and belonging. Manglish reflects the vibrant differences we share and how we find unity within them. It's in the way we laugh, in the way we tease, in the way a single lao walao can make a conversation feel like home. Manglish is not just what we speak, it's how we connect.
From this project, I realized that there are a lot of takeaways. After talking to all these people, here are some of their takeaways.
I think Manglish in general is something that Malaysians take a lot of pride in. When you speak of Manglish, it's something that we take pride in because it just shows how diverse our country really is and how much history is actually represented in Manglish itself.
It's not just a language, it's a language that's been infused, or a dialect that's been infused with the Malaysian culture within it. It's one thing to have English by itself, but it's another thing to have an English that's specifically shaped and warped around a specific country, a specific culture.
Genuinely, I think I didn't really fully appreciate like Manglish until I got here, and it really took me going abroad to realize how complicated and intricate and really beautiful and wonderful it is.
Knowing where I am, knowing my surroundings, knowing where I am as a place in time, where this country is, where my society is, where I am within the scheme of things. Yeah, like Manglish really helps, like that linguistic command.
Language is extremely important in our Malaysian identity. I think the only thing that would top language is probably food. At the end of the day, I am a Malaysian. I speak in a Malaysian accent. I don't speak in a Malaysian accent, it doesn't matter as long as I still hold on to my Malaysian roots.
When you're in Malaysia, you don't have to perform the language identity.
Yeah.
You perform the race identity.
Yeah.
When you're abroad, we're all racialized the same way. And so what we have to distinguish ourselves from especially other Asians is the language and culture.
But what do I take away from this project? An answer to some questions that I have for some time. What truly encapsulates the Malaysian identity? What about my identity? Who are you?
Siapa kau?
Comment vas-tu?
你是谁？
Who are you?
Comment vas-tu?
Who am I? Well, to me, my identity is drawn by food. My identity is made by the people I surround myself with, by the love we share, by our passions and ambitions, through experiencing the ups and downs of life. Our identity is what we present ourselves to be and what we keep inside. The relationship between Manglish and the Malaysian identity is neither rigid or singular. It's excessive and complex, but it's how we unite. And at its core, identity, like Manglish, is never one thing. It's messy and ever-changing, a fusion of past and present, of where we have been and where we're going. It is vibrant, sometimes overwhelming, and sometimes hard to define. But when you put it all together, it's something rich, something familiar. It's full of flavor and it can be chaotic, but it's ours. Just like a plate of Rojak.